All right, here we go. Oh, I don't have the chat up. Let me do that. Now I have it.
Pull up the chat.
Hello, chat. Nice to see. Oh, we don't need video preview running. They'll just eat bandwidth. Okay.
Bandwidth eaters.
Bandwidth eaters. They're out there. All right, here we go. This here show starts in 3, 2, 1.
People think there was never dinosaurs.
Those people are, let me put this nicely, incorrect.
Okay.
You come before me with an empty sack.
The morning stream, 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 the morning stream.
The morning stream. The next best thing since sliced bread.
The morning stream, the morning stream, the morning stream.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the morning stream. It is the morning stream for November 19th, 2019. I'm Scott Johnson. This is Brian Hibbett over here.
That is over here. Over here. Hey, I'm over here. Did you see?
Yeah.
Did you see that the video that goes along with that Jeff Goldblum clip? Because that was the Jimmy Kimmel interview that he did last week.
Oh no, I got it off of the show, the actual show, that thing that's on Disney Plus. It's him talking to that sneaker designer kid.
Oh, okay. Because he did. I could have sworn there was a thing that he did on Jimmy Kimmel talking about the dinosaurs too, where he said almost the exact same thing. But you know what? I think I am thinking of the sneaker designer kid.
Maybe he repeated himself. I don't know. It's weird. But
No, I think I'm just not conflating. I'm amalgamating the two.
possible.
The two appearances.
It's a lot of Jeff Goldblum in our lives right now. It's kind of hard to avoid.
Dude, you gotta at some point you gotta go look and see what he wore on the Jimmy Kimmel show last Friday.
Did he wear his cool sneakers that he has in the show?
Yes, he absolutely did.
Those are cool.
And those are really cool sneakers.
They really are.
Oh, there's a little zebra pattern hidden in the tongue here. There's only I know about this.
I find that show delightful. I love it.
I do too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for more of it.
Yeah. When does that come out? Does that have a schedule? It's a weekly.
That comes out the same day as the Mandalorian episodes.
Oh,
It's
all right.
Fridays.
They just do Fridays on that stuff. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, it's a nice little surprise how much I like it. I watched the ice cream one yesterday. That was also great.
Oh, haven't watched that one yet.
Yeah, it was it was good. It made me really miss ice cream, which I haven't had in about 3 months. So missing the ice cream.
Aw.
Yeah. You know.
He talks about future episodes of that Disney Plus show. There's one that's going to be all about pools.
Oh.
And he's going to go to he goes to Raging Waters water park. It's the first time I've ever been to a water park, Jimmy.
Is that true? It's really about
Yeah,
pools and our obsession with
he's
pools.
never been to a water park, and they put him on a tube, and
That's fantastic.
yeah, for sure.
So wait,
can't wait to see that
do we
episode.
get a shirtless? Because we haven't really had a shirtless Goldblum since The Fly or something, right?
Since The Fly? Did we get one in Jurassic Park, or was he just always wearing that black button up?
I think he always was dressed. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we did have the scene in Jurassic Park where he was, the shirt was all stripped down to his belly or whatever when he's laying on that table.
Oh,
asking
yeah,
if,
yeah.
You always said you could, but you didn't ask if you should.
Yeah, would you Google search, and great, now this is in my Google search history,
Yeah.
shirtless Jeff Goldblum. That is the image that you get is the one of him reclining,
Yeah.
back with the open black button-up shirt.
Yeah, my favorite. It's almost as good as your chicken phone replacement GIF that someone did of you, but the GIF of Dr. Grant laying on his belly as it rises and falls
like he's
is my favorite GIF
the
on the planet.
Triceratops.
Yeah, it's my favorite GIF in the world. Somebody went through a lot of work to make that thing.
That is fantastic. Yeah, there's another one apparently where he's going to be giving somebody a tattoo.
Oh, tattoos. That makes
Jeff
sense.
Goldblum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not going to get one, but he's going to give one to someone.
Correct. Yes, he's going to apply a few marks to a Jeff Goldblum tattoo that somebody is getting.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. No, I missed that interview. I might track it down and listen to it.
It's actually a really good one. It's worth tracking down. And his outfit is absolutely incredible. Zebra pattern striped pants, a shiny jacket, a zebra print tie. It's just a thing to behold.
All right. I'm going to behold it then. That's what I'll do.
You should be holding it.
Yep.
Hold it.
I will be the eye of the beholder soon enough. It's good to be here,
There you
everybody. Welcome back to the show. Got a lot to talk about. So yesterday we took Kim to the old HIPAA-breaking colonoscopy trip. Yeah.
Yeah. How did that HIPAA breaker? How did that go?
Well, here's the audio I captured. Basically, and I'm not going to play it because it was worthless. Here's how it sounded. It was me going, "How you doing? Are you feeling okay?" "Yeah, I'm okay." "Oh, okay. Do you have anything weird you want to say, or do you want to, make some kind of weird non sequitur comments or anything?" "No, I'm good." "What did the doctor say when he's coming back?" She just was normal when she came out. It was like there's no revenge there. She was just 100% normal.
Funny.
No, nothing weird. No comments that she doesn't remember today. Like, she just came out like it was like she was waking up from a Sunday afternoon nap. It was ridiculous.
That's hilarious. It's perfectly coherent. No, I love it. That's so Kim. That is absolutely so Kim.
It
And
really
how many,
was. Well, it
did
annoyed
she come
me.
home and watch like 8 Hallmark Christmas episodes?
I mean, you think you're exaggerating. You're not. You're literally not exaggerating. I think it may have been we're into the 9th one that she watched yesterday. That's how many she
I
watched.
love it.
And so, Brian, I have some really great stuff to share with you shortly about the Hallmark Christmas
good.
movies.
What was the thing? Gina was telling me that there's a, maybe somebody posted this in the Tadpole, but there's a deal right now where you can get money if you watch.
Oh yeah.
Here we go. Watch 24 Hallmark Christmas movies in 12 days and earn $1,000.
Yep. Yeah, the problem with it, I think, is they have to give you some kind of tracker or something, don't they? Because how else are
Okay,
they
is
going to
that
know? How else do they know you've watched them? You're going to say, "Oh, I watched."
You're going to have to write an essay on each one. No, here it is. Here's your deal. You don't like Christmas, you love it. You must be over 18 and be a U.S. resident. You must know how to work the gram, Twitter or Facebook. We want someone who's willing to document their Hallmark marathon with their followers. We want you to have opinions, lots of them. Think the grumpy grandpa turned jolly Santa was a little overdone. Be as honest as possible in your review. So,
That's it.
that's it. Yeah. If
All
you
right.
win, we'll hook you up with your very own Hallmark binge watching package, a streaming service subscription, a packet of hot cocoa, a box of Christmas cookies, a string of fairy lights, a mini Christmas tree, and more Hallmark swag than you could ever need. In return, here's what we need: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Each time you turn on a movie, include the hashtag countdown to Christmas. We complete the job by Christmas Day. I guess I don't understand. Oh, okay. So here's she goes to this page and fills out this application,
Yeah.
and if they pick her, then she gets all that, and then she has to do the watching.
Oh, then you do
streaming,
the binge. Okay.
gramming and tweeting and posting.
Got ya. Okay.
Still feels like, I mean, hey, $1,000.
Hey.
She's gonna do it anyway.
I
right?
guarantee it. Yeah, she absolutely will do it anyway. Like, that's what
She's
she
got
does.
a good amount of followers.
Oh, the stupid stuff I was subjected to yesterday, dude. It's so bad. I don't know why that's popular. And look, I know we have this conversation every year, and I'm not going to cast shade on people who like the Hallmark movies.
Sure.
But I just need to ask them, like, that it's the most, like, contrived and then constantly copied and duplicated story stuff ever, right?
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah. Tell me, in the 8 episodes that she watched yesterday, did one of them feature a harried ad exec, overworked, busy, who just can't find the joy in Christmas until the very end when
I think all of them did. Every one of them had some friend calling from New York going, "Don't you miss New York? Come on back and I'll partner you up with the company. You can be a partner this time. Hey, why don't you leave your dumb little town behind?" "Oh,
no, I
don't
can't
know."
leave this town. They've got the spirit of Christmas that I just can't find anywhere else.
There's one I watched that literally the town was called Christmas.
They're not even trying anymore.
I think the name of the movie is A Town Called Christmas. I think that's the name of it. I mean, I don't want to cast shade because I understand. My wife loves them and I respect it and I want her to enjoy it, and it's fine. It's like your wife in the Bravo shows, like,
Yeah, the Real Housewives stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine at some point we're just going to get to the point where it's so lazy. It's 8 people dressed as elves walking around giving sugar cookie recipes for 2 hours.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny you said that because the last one, the Lori Laughlin we saw, had a whole.
What, did you get a sugar cookie recipe in
It
that
was
one?
it was a whole scene where they all came together to share their sugar cookie recipes. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
Oh my god! Wow,
Yeah.
this is awesome.
It was really great. So I have additional things to share on that regard here in a moment. But before we get to that,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
there's
Back to
an Asian lady working at the colon place, which is what I call it now.
the colon place.
Yeah, the colon place.
Bed, bath, and colons.
It's the endoscopy, or is a Rocky Mountain endoscopy, which I think is a poor use of terms, because I don't want Rocky Mountain and my colon in the same.
Rocky
Yeah.
and colon. Yeah, no.
not like that.
Is it? Where's the accent mark? And is it endoscopy or endoscopy? It would be endoscopy. That doesn't sound right. But-
Endoscopy,
yeah,
colonoscopy,
no. Yeah, that's the thing. Endoscopy.
endoscopy.
Endoscopy. Yeah.
End-
Okay.
End of your scope. I don't know.
Sure.
Anyway, so this place, we're in there, and it's, it is what it is. And it's full of people waiting for their turn. Just very busy. It's a very nice clinic. It's all dedicated to this. Instead of a hospital type place, it's more of a clinic setting, and it's nice. And it's fine. Every once in a while, a dude or lady will come out in blue scrubs with a piece of paper, like a file folder thing, and say, Janet with Bill? Janet with Bill? And then Janet will go, "Oh, that's me." And Bill's like her buddy. You have to have a buddy, right?
Sure.
To take you
Yeah.
on stuff.
You gotta have
And
your,
she goes, "All
your
right."
endo partner, your
And
endo buddy.
And they very quietly say, "We'll have her for about 45 minutes, and then we'll bring you in after she's ready. Sound good?" And the guy will go, "Yeah." And then she'll slink off and take her in there. And this happens over and over with very soft-spoken, lovely
Sure,
people
like-
who come out and do it.
Like a golf announcer is taking taking people's significant others back into the back room.
Yep, and it's created kind of a library atmosphere. Nobody's really on their phones talking. It's very quiet out there in that space. There's no music playing. You can kind of hear mumbling behind the desk with the women who are covering the desk there. So they're kind of going, taking a phone call. "Yes, thank you for calling Intermountain whatever butt clinic," So this is all going on.
Right.
This is all happening, and I'm thinking, this is great. Then this one lady in blue scrubs comes out. It's the first time we've seen her. She's like the fourth out to come get somebody, and she goes, "William with Janet." It's this Asian lady, and
There's a little German there, but I know where you're going.
she
Yeah.
goes, "William with Janet, Janet!" Like she's yelling this as loud as she can, and I don't know why. But the people who are the people go, kind of dropping their iPads, looking up. Oh, what? Yeah, that's us. She goes, "Okay, you come back with me. You bring all your stuff. Bring all your stuff." She's like yelling at them to bring all their stuff. They bring all their stuff as soon as she gets toward the door, not in the door, not behind the door, not out of ear reach. She starts going, "Okay, I understand you're coming in for you do colonoscopy today." I mean, she's yelling that loud, and all I
There's
can
no
think is,
client-patient or doctor-patient confidentiality or anything.
yeah.
There.
She goes, "Now you need to go bathroom before. You go bathroom before. No, we don't have a problem on the table." Oh, like that. Now I know that all sounds a little slightly racist. I am doing an exact impression of what she was yelling. I am telling you, she was yelling that stuff, and it made
Listen,
everybody uncomfortable.
we're the show that brought you the clip clop. We've already
I've crossed that
already-
divide. Yeah, we're done
exactly. Yes.
there.
Can't unring that bell.
It did sound like my angry Korean sister-in-law. She sounded like she does when she gets mad. But anyway, she was friendly, but just so turned up to 12, and then the next group would come out. "Yes, we're looking for a Sheila with Bill. Thank you. Come on back to the thing." Like just another one of those guys would come out, and we're like, "Oh, back to normal." And then came, I don't know her name. She'd come out again and go, "Okay, yeah." It was the weirdest thing, dude. Anyway, so there was that. Kim got in, Kim got out. It was all good, no issues. Just you're supposed to get them now when you're 45, and she's that. So, or she's 46, but they changed it. They rolled it back. It used to be 50. Now they moved it back. So we sat her down. She didn't say anything like this. Hold on.
That guy on Twitter lied.
She didn't say anything weird.
Of course not. Fully coherent. That's what I completely expect from Kim, is that she'd be completely coherent.
You're
about
right.
that.
And part of me thinks that she worked really hard ahead of time to convince her mind not to do anything stupid because she knew I'd play it on the air. I feel like part of her was like in there going, okay, when you wake up, you're going to just be normal, say only normal things. Only, she's like, she trained herself. They conk her out. She wakes up. And when she was first waking up, I got hope because she was just like barely moving. I go, honey, you feeling okay? And I was recording at this time. Okay, I had the thing up. I had my phone up. I was holding it next to her, and she just gives me a little thumbs up. I'm like, come on, more than that. Give me more than that. Give me more than that.
Great.
Anyway,
She knows.
I was very disappointed,
Absolutely, she knows.
but at the same time, I guess well done.
Very cool.
All right.
Hey, before
Yeah.
we do get to these Hallmark Christmas things, one really quick thing. We have 2 birthdays to give a shout out to. Can I do that really quick?
Yes, please do.
First off, we have our very own Gidget Von LaRue, who is celebrating a birthday today. I don't know how schnocker she is from a box of wine, but hopefully she's doing. I don't know if she's a box wine drinker, but happy birthday to Gidget, and also coincidentally, happy birthday to Lisa from Oklahoma, who's also celebrating a birthday.
Oh.
Completely separate from Gidget. Lucy from Oklahoma also
Oh,
celebrating.
I see. Because they're not the same people. They're different.
No. They're different people,
Right.
but they just happen to have the same birthday. So happy birthday also
What a
to Lucy
coincidence.
from Oklahoma.
Crazy coincidence there.
Yeah.
That's really good. All right. Well, here,
Don't know
let's
how
play.
that's possible. But, all right.
Let's play that. Let's play that for them. Hold on.
Happy birthday to you.
There you go. There's your
you
Miyagi
go.
birthday. Yep.
And ASCAP, go collect your money from Pat Morita. Pat Morita has your check.
He does. He's
He
not.
will happily pay you.
It's
if you
it's
catch a
his,
fly with chopsticks.
it's his ghost, but he'll give you what you want. All right. All right. So this is funny. We're watching this Lori Loughlin one. Okay.
Yeah.
I happen to be in the room, and as it's playing, it's one from last year, and I think it's one before the controversy and
I was
the,
going to say it would have to be. I think Hallmark may not touch Lori Loughlin with a 10-foot Yule log
Yeah.
at this point going forward.
I think you're right, and I think that's it for her because she's already served her time, right? Or at least on the initial conviction. I think she's done.
Well, Lori, yeah, I think so. Right, exactly.
I don't
Yes.
remember who's in jail at the moment for that, but anyway.
Currently, probably not anybody. If Felicity Huffman, if the Huffman is out, then I think Lori Loughlin served her time before the Huffman.
Maybe, and maybe she's still. Oh, she's still
no,
fighting the
Icor,
charge.
Icor says that she's still fighting it.
Okay, so she may not be in there. So somebody told me a long time ago that she had a scene in what's the show she was on? The
Full House.
Full House, where she was lecturing her daughter, her fake daughter, on the show how not to cheat to get into school or something.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And for everyone who doesn't understand what we're talking about, these people are all embroiled in a recent issue and a legal issue where they were illegally gaining favor so that their kids, by paying a crap ton of money, could basically cheat the system and get into schools they wouldn't qualify for, or into sports programs they didn't qualify for, and that sort of thing. And so anyway, she was famous for that. Well, last night we're watching this one. And as it's unfolding, I'm like, all right, this is pretty funny. She's standing there, and I see this student, it's supposed to be a high school student, come swooping in. And I went, oh, wouldn't it be fun? I turned to Kim, I go, wouldn't this be funny if she, helped this kid, sneak into a school she's not supposed to be in or something? I just made it just a little comment.
Offhand joke, yeah. Right.
And then this got said. Let's listen to this clip. Here you go.
Your mom said you want to go to the Fashion Institute?
Yeah, but I didn't apply. I mean, like she says, they only take 40 people a year.
I think you could be one of them.
Really? Not that it matters. It's too late to apply now anyway.
I know the dean. I could make a phone call, find out about the application timeline for you.
Would you really do that for me?
Of course. Everyone deserves to follow their dreams.
Your Honor.
I implore you. Is that great?
I present Exhibit A.
Yeah. And that was one of the last movies she did for the channel. So then there was a little bit more later. This also kind of adds to it, so I'll just play this.
And you have until January 1st, but you have to get your application in right away because they're shutting down for Christmas. And I might have put a good word in for you, so use my name if you do apply.
Thank you so much. I think I'm gonna do it.
Oh my gosh, dude. It's just like real life, torn from the headlines. crazy.
Now, how did Kim react to you having to do this film sack thing where you're like, oh, pause. All right, let me hook up the stuff to record the show. Hold on. It's like, all right, now we're going to play. All right.
Credit to her. She was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this is happening. You need to timestamp these. I said, oh, okay, yeah. And I'll go. And so I capped them later. I went down here and did it later. I didn't do it in real time. So I had to come down here and like scrub through this freaking Barnyard of Christmas movie or whatever the hell it's called and track down 25 minutes in, 37 minutes in.
Ugh.
And there's a thing at the end where the girl gets into this fashion institute and they celebrate, but it wasn't really audio I could use. But the whole thing felt like an allegory for her real life cheatery.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was real dumb. Super dumb. Now, who's the one that's married to William H. Macy? It's not her. It's the other one.
Felicity Huffman. Felicity Huffman
is.
The Huffman.
And Huffman's not on. She's not in any of this stuff. She's not in the Hallmark.
You know
movies.
what? I don't think so. Let's see. Somebody posted a link a minute ago to the IMDb. There it is, right there. The IMDb Christmas Hallmark Christmas actresses list.
This. I don't know why I'm acting surprised that this exists.
I know.
Of course it does.
Would you like, maybe let's see if you can guess how many of the actresses on Hallmark Christmas.
Okay, let me try it. Can we try to name one?
Yeah.
All right, the redheaded girl from that one episode of the Walking Dead.
Ding 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 ding. Alicia Witt is who you're talking about, correct?
Yeah. If I get one of these wrong, I'm gonna go
No.
And if I get them right,
Lava Flow.
Okay, so that's a Lava Flow.
Right,
Give me
Alicia Witt, also from Dune, and she was Taylor Kitsch's mom on Friday Night Lights, and she was on that Sybil Shepherd show.
I actually really like her in everything.
Yeah.
But these.
Oh yeah.
The holiday things. She's very good in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you can tell she's been grown up child actress.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
Let me try another one.
She's always got that like Nickelodeon overacting drama thing that she does. Anyway.
That might be all I can do. I can't
really?
do anymore.
All right.
I can't think of any more.
I'll give you a few here. Danica McKellar from The Wonder Years.
Right. The girlfriend.
Winnie Cooper.
Winnie, yep.
Candace Cameron, speaking of Full House.
Okay.
Let's see. Lacey Chabert from Party of Five.
The little one. The little kid.
Still trying to make Fetch happen.
Right. I do remember seeing one with her in it while Kim was watching it.
Allison Sweeney.
I forgot she was saying
from
Fetch.
Days of Our Lives. Speaking of Days of Our Lives, she was the was Roman's daughter. She was somebody's daughter. Everybody's somebody's daughter. Or son, but she was somebody's daughter on Days of Our Lives. Bo and Hope.
She was
daughter, maybe?
You're saying she was a significant character's offspring, is what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Kelly Martin from ER.
Okay. Oh,
Holly Robinson Pete from 21 Jump Street.
21 Jump Street. I know her. Yeah. All right.
Josie Bissett from Melrose Place.
Shut up.
The
Really?
blonde with a bob.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. I noticed they
This is such a great list because it's like, oh yeah, I remember these people from the 90s.
I saw one last year with Kim that John Ratzenberger was in. So that's a thing. He did that once.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the story of Christmas actually is pretty.
All right,
you might find your Christmas spirit if you head down to the local post office.
You have two. I'm just gonna throw this out there. Brian has two dead perfect impressions. One is Ratzenberger from Cheers, and one is James from James and Svet from Same Sex Married. Those two impressions are spotless. Like I 100% believe I'm listening to the people who do it when you do it.
Awesome.
That's really impressive. No other significant names? Nobody else we know?
Andy McDowell, Kimberly Williams Paisley, who was in Father of the Bride.
Yeah.
Didn't realize she married Brad Paisley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that would explain the Paisley in their name.
Yeah, exactly. If she breaks up with him and marries Ray Park, then she'll be Kimberly Williams Paisley Park.
Wait, she should marry somebody named Plaid, because then she'll be Paisley Plaid at the end.
There you go.
I like that. Those will clash. You don't want
Very
those
good.
together.
Anyway, yeah, nobody else of note, but there's your Hallmark actresses.
Yay!
List that apparently, according to Genie, has not been updated for 2019.
Yes, I haven't. I don't think I've seen anything that's 29. Well, maybe we have. I don't know.
Have they come out? Have they come out with a fresh batch?
I mean, I have
Like
every year.
new-
This year, there's like 40 new ones or something crazy like that. And I guess it's, again, it's fine. It's a form of entertainment. Some people like it. And I get the feeling of Christmas is always there, right? Like that's the idea, is they're trying to really pump the Christmas part up, and it's great. That part, I like that. I like Christmas. That's great. It's just every storyline is, oh, I'm just in town for a week. I'm just here I just needed a break. I was kind of having a breakdown at the company I'm at in New York. It's always New York, by the way. They're always from New York.
Yeah, right.
And then she meets some burly guy who runs a local tractor company or something. And then he's good looking. Oh, I remember you from high school.
But totally from a different class and the other side of the tracks.
Right. All that stuff. And it's just like, okay, we're good.
I only date lawyers and I don't date tractor mechanics.
Yeah. And it's funny. I bet if I went and searched, there's a lot of character actors that I really like who are in these things as extras, like the old guy that's needs to finally sell the corner store. Who's every movie's got an old guy who wants to retire and sell the family business, and everyone talks him out of it. It's annoying. Anyway, whatever. You guys have your thing. We have our things. Everybody can have their things. It's fine.
Exactly. Yep.
I have a quick shout out.
People can, do their. You give me crap for liking Hudson Hawk or Love Boat, Fantasy Island, whatever. I'll take it. Totally deserve it.
Or my stupid Mad Max obsession or whatever. I deserve some heat for that as well.
The first stepping is admitting you have a problem, Scott.
Yeah.
So very good.
Yeah, I have no problem admitting that I'm obsessed about it. And people are always like expecting a fight when they tell me that they don't like it. They'll say, "Oh, I don't like that movie at all. What are you gonna do?"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You're gonna be
"Nothing.
like, okay, cool.
That's fine.
More for me.
Yeah, more for me.
Yeah.
I'll go watch it."
You're one person I won't have to fight in line to go see the sequel. So good.
which is in pre-production, by the way.
I know. Yeah, the interview on that in that article with George Miller, and he talks about the Doof Warrior. Oh, I could do a whole movie about the Doof Warrior and how he came to be and all that. Like, oh my God.
Yep.
HBO series, bring it on.
Yeah, that's the next step in my opinion. You make one more movie, you make the fifth one, you make it awesome, and then you lean into serial, a television approach. And I would be so on the hook, dude. Oh my gosh. Let's just make it happen. George Miller TV. Hello and welcome. Perfect time for it.
You know what? Maybe Hallmark needs to figure out ways to kind of make it a more, both genders enjoying their Hallmark Christmas things by doing rom-com or romantic Hallmark versions of popular action franchises, right? So you've got he's a crazy car driver driving through a post-apocalyptic wasteland. She's a one-armed truck driver who's trying to get some brides away from an maniacal.
She's got a giant truck full of mother's milk. What could go wrong?
Will they find the Christmas spirit somewhere by a guy who has a flamethrower for guitar?
Tune in and find out on That's Bait or whatever we call it. You don't even want to call it like Mad Max. No, you call it Mad Max : The Road the Road to Christmas Town. I don't know how you do
Road
it.
to Christmas, right.
Yeah.
Who runs Christmas
Yeah,
Town?
who runs Christmas Town? That's it. That's the one. Who runs Christmas Town? Oh my gosh, dude. Now I gotta draw that or Photoshop it or something. That's amazing. All right.
The Hallmark logo on the bottom right is perfect.
Amazing. All right. I got to give a quick shout out to a fellow cat owner and lover. His name is Dave Lee. He reached out to us on Twitter to let us know that his cat of 16 years, he had a cat named Jazz for 16 years, passed away the other day. So we wanted to just give him a little shout out, our pets.
Big love out to, he's usually in the chat room under the name D Lee MKE.
Oh, there you go. That's right.
And
that's
which I think
his...
we've mispronounced as D. Lee Mike or something like that. So
Right. And he's got that's also his Twitter account, I think, or something close to it. Anyway.
Oh, it might be. Yeah.
If it is, reach out to him, say hi today, and tell him you're sorry to hear about his cat. He sent a picture of his cat while he's watching TMS on a TV, and the cat laying in front of the television, which is pretty cool.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to give him a shout out and tell him we're thinking about him. Pets are, pets are tricky.
Pets are awesome.
Yep. I don't want them to die. That's the thing. They all have these short lifespans. Because,
they're 10 to 15 years of love and then 6 to 10 years of heartbreak afterwards.
Yeah. And it's funny because as I keep getting to this place where I talk about how fast time is going, the pets age quicker as a result, because my perception is they're not here as long as they used to be. When I was younger, it felt like you had a dog forever. Now you feel like it's just this blip in time. So anyway, I know how you feel. I'd be mortified if Rainer kicked the bucket. Oh man, I can't deal with it. I can't even want to think about it.
I know.
You know what's funny is I'm saying this sweet thing about her right now, while literally right now she is having somebody with a pair of gloves on squeeze her anus and express it.
You know what? She right now, just because dogs can sense this, she knows you're thinking about her and knows you're talking about her.
I guess
her
so.
anus is getting
She's sitting there
squeezed.
going, "Oh, my owner, squeeze the anus." Yeah, she's at the vet getting that done and getting groomed.
Yeah,
they're probably gonna put a bow on her and all that dumb stuff. She hates it.
Perfect. All
right. Well, guess what time it is, Brian?
What time is it, Scott?
It's this. Time for the news, and it's brought to you by
America's Next Top Podcaster. New episode coming out today as Alex interviews, I can't tell you because it's a spoiler, but it's the contestant that got eliminated on yesterday's episode.
Ooh.
Oh, a lot of people, many people, very disappointed on both sides by the person who got eliminated on yesterday's show.
Good use of both sides, by the way.
Trust me, I can tell you this.
Yeah.
I can tell you this. A lot of people disappointed.
So wait, remind me which challenge was it?
The challenge of creating a daily news and commentary podcast.
That was a hard one to judge.
The last person to get eliminated before individual competition.
Yeah, that was a hard one for me. Didn't like that one. I mean, it was the right. Everything was good about the show, and the contestant was amazing and super, humble
Absolutely.
and all that. But on a personal level, it was not an easy.
It was hard
vote.
to see this person go.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
That person is good at this stuff. Anyway, that's all the close to spoilers we'll give about ANTP. Where can Brian? Where can people get it? Where can they go get it?
At americasnexttop.podcaster.com, or go into your podcast application of choice. You know, those applications that you put on your smart telephones. Go in there and type America's Next Top Podcaster, and you'll get your iPod casts delivered.
Nice.
There's really no podcast isn't really like an abbreviation of anything except for iPod casts.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't call it a podcatcher. I was expecting that. Remember that?
Netcast.
We used
podcatchers.
We used to do that all the time.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then we'd tell you guys to go give us a vote on Podcast
Alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
So I could be number one. So it won't be friggin' Live Talk Live again, or whatever the heck that thing was. Free Talk Live?
Yeah.
Free Talk Live.
Keith and the Girl, or whoever was on
Keith
there.
and the Girl, or Don and Drew.
Oh my gosh. This is throwing me back real hard.
Yeah.
All right. We got a story here about a father and son held over from yesterday.
Oh, good. Oh, I like good father and son. Like sweet stories about fathers and sons and the things that they share with one another.
Yeah, the things they give each other. It's really heartwarming stuff.
Yeah.
Perfect time for the holiday season. Well, a father was arrested after his 5-year-old son brought heroin to school, saying tasting it turned him into Spider-Man.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Massachusetts father was arrested and charged Friday after this kid did this. Brought a little baggie of heroin to his kindergarten and told his teacher he turns into Spider-Man when he tastes it. The boy showed off a plastic bag stamped with the image of Spider-Man that contained a powdery substance. Hampton County School or Assistant District Attorney Matthew Green said in court. The boy told his teacher that he turns into the superhero when he tastes the powder. The boy was allegedly... Oh, geez, Louises. That came out of nowhere. The boy also allegedly said he got the bag from a living room in his home. Holyoke? How would you say it? Holyoke?
Holyoke.
Oh, Holyoke.
Holyoke.
I don't like that either. It's all dumb.
But can we not gloss over the fact that the assistant DA, his name is Matthew Green, like the Green Goblin? Can we not brush past the Green?
I didn't know that. Is that his
Green
name?
Goblin?
The Green Goblin's name is Matthew Green?
No, he's just Matthew Green. I just, Green Goblin.
Oh, I see. Because the Green, that you're outing him as a super
Spider-Man.
villain
Yes,
when he's not. Yeah, when he's not being DA, he's killing
That's
Spider-Man.
all I could come up with because I couldn't come up with something about with Massachusetts fatherhood comes great irresponsibility. Something I need to work more on that one. But
yeah, this is a dark side of the Spider-Verse that we're talking about here for sure.
It really is. Yes.
They were called to the school around 11 a.m. The boy was taken to a local hospital, later released. Police contacted the boy's mother, who gave permission for the police to search the apartment. They were there. They found Garcia sleeping in a bed with other bags of white powder underneath him. Jeez. Just sleeping on your heroin. All right.
Well, it's they also make a very comfortable mattress.
I guess so. It says, as he was handcuffed, other bags fell from his body. Like this.
You come before me with an empty sack.
Yeah.
They're stuck to his body. Oh,
I know. So much heroin falling from all crevices and corners. Poor
all
guy.
right, I'm trying to figure out what Jedi 71 is doing. 1 substance, 2 court, 3 DA, 4 hospital, 5 bags of white powder, 6 handcuffed. I can't tell what he's doing with
I
this.
don't know what he's doing either. What's your pattern? Give us the punchline.
Oh, he said count the red flags. Okay, so those are the red flags?
Those are the red flags. You mean hold on. What?
I don't understand why those are red flags.
I don't either. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't get it. He's a Jedi, so I don't know. Maybe he's got midichlorians coursing through his veins. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, that's how you know the story is bad. Oh, is this like a fake?
What? How
did come from Fox News?
No, it's not. I mean, I don't know what he means by it's fake.
Does he mean fake, or does he mean it's just a bad story? Like
you would take the kid to the hospital. I don't know how that's fake. Of course you would. He's been ingesting heroin. What do you think you're going to do with the kid?
Yeah. I don't know.
I think Jedi 71 might be smoking the crack himself.
I think he's tasting the Spider-Man powder.
Let me ask you this: Jedi 71, stand up wherever you are. Just stand up. Do a bunch of bags fall from you? You come to me with an empty sack.
We never said fake. I guess I just don't mean. Do you mean bad story? Like, a sad story? Oh, okay.
Oh,
well,
sad.
Well,
I thought he was.
a sad story.
All right. Well, sad and bad rhyme. So that story was breaking sad.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Hopefully it all works out. All right. Hey, check this out. We'll move on as if we don't really know the people. And
sure. And Jedi 71's got some work to do on this next one, on this next story.
Okay. Good. Yeah. See what you can do here. A professor who wrote a book. I like the doth protest too much stories. You know I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm.
There's one I skipped last week about a principal who banned all LGBT books from the school. Anything to do with any sort of anything LGBT related, he had banned.
Sure.
And then last week was arrested because they found a bunch of child porn on his computer. So once again, but that one just seemed too harsh. And I was like, I'm not even going to give this guy some sunshine.
Well, and it's yeah. I mean, it's less a I mean, his problems with anything homosexual. I'm trying to figure out the right way to word this. Because
no, I know what you're saying.
To separate those two things,
right? Because we're not trying to say that. Oh well, yeah, exactly. It's not like I complain that cocaine's bad and then I'm snorting cocaine. This was less of a direct one, but it's basically somebody telling everybody else from a high and mighty position how to live their lives, and then
a glass house situation.
Yeah, and then he is living his life in an actually degenerate way.
Correct.
So
correct.
still holds, but it was just kind of grody, so I didn't bring it up. Well, this one I am bringing up.
Okay, good.
A professor who wrote a book on drug crime is now accused of money laundering, which is a crime, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. Again, the drugs and the money laundering, not the same thing, but often go hand in hand.
Oh yeah,
Quite,
they work
yeah.
together quite well.
Mhm.
A Miami professor, who's expert on drug trafficking and organized crime, was charged in the U.S. This week with laundering money from Venezuela, skimming more than 250 grand of it for himself. Bruce Bagley, age 3, a professor of international studies at the University of Miami, was the co-editor of the 2015 book Drug Trafficking. Oh, 2015. That's Mad Max Fury Road came out that year.
Boy, anybody who's playing that drinking game is sloshed by now.
Yeah, y'all are drunk. Go home. Anyway, prosecutors in Manhattan charged him with laundering $2.5 million in the U.S. into the U.S. Again, that the money he took for himself was the $250K. Money that foreign nationals embezzled and got from bribes and other corrupt schemes. Bagley pocketed about 10% of that money. Bagley, an American professor, contributed to the success of illegal activities overseas carried out against the Venezuelan people, says FBI Director in Charge William F. Sweeney, Jr. Would not mess with that dude.
No, Bill Sweeney.
Bill Sweeney.
FBI Assistant Director in Charge, Bill Sweeney.
Yeah.
Jr.
It says this dude's from Coral Gables, Florida, appeared in federal court. He was released on $300,000 bond, co-signed by his son and daughter. The arrest came as a complete surprise to everyone, and we're just now reviewing the indictment, says his lawyer. Based on my extensive knowledge of Dr. Bagley, both professionally and personally, I'm confident he will be vindicated at the end of the day. Oh, really? Your lawyer said your own lawyer says that? Weird.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's supposed to say that.
Weird.
So, all right. So, money laundering obviously is when you get, either counterfeit money or drug money, and you basically pay somebody to sit on it, to kind of hold on to it and give you its equivalent in money that's not drug money, or basically that's clean. So
It's
to speak,
it's
that's not gonna
Tony's.
get traced back.
It's Tony Soprano's garbage business.
Right, exactly.
But
is there what's it called when you take like counterfeit money that looks too clean and too perfect and actually put it in a dryer so that it gets wrinkled up, or you put it in like a washing machine to kind of make it look a little faded and crumpled and like it's been used, so it looks less conspicuous.
Interesting.
Isn't that
sounds
you've
like
heard about
actual
that, right?
That sounds like actual money laundering to me,
I know, that's the thing. It's like
literal.
I know that there is a term for that. Oh, distressing is what
distressing?
There's a lot of people
it's very
okay.
distressing, Brian. Very distressing.
It's a bummer that there's actual money laundering that you can't call it money laundering, because it would get confusing with when people take drug money, bad money, and replace it with good money.
Yeah. You say to just ask Paula Dean, what are you doing to your money?
It's very distressing.
Okay.
Well done. Good job on
See?
the clip.
Not a bad poll.
Yeah.
Here's us doing it. Here.
That's
Brand new.
very distressing.
Very distressing. That's us doing it. From 2013. Man, that was 2 years before Mad Max Fury Road came out.
Jeez. Yeah, Maniacal Industries says distressing counterfeit money is definitely a thing. It's mainly used for cotton content paper versions.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, just basically to make freshly printed money not look so freshly printed.
Yeah, there you have it. Yeah. And by the way, you don't charge it. These charges are pretty serious capital crimes. They do not get charged in New York federal court willy-nilly. He probably did it. They don't move ahead with that stuff unless you get some pretty hard evidence.
Yeah.
So moving on. So quit being it's all a front. Everything, whenever you get up and tell somebody else how to do a thing, and in this case I actually think it's good to have a professor who's an expert in why crime's bad. But maybe don't do the crime too. Don't do that too. All right. Yes, I did, Alex. I used your clip. You want to hear Patrick say something? Hold on.
Sure.
This is great. This is Patrick Beja. It's more of a question than a statement.
Fine.
Hey, see?
Fine?
Yeah, fine.
Fine.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Really, really fine.
Patrick,
Can you probably can't merge those, right? You can't do a really, really fine?
Not on the fly, but I think it's a good idea for later. But if you ask Patrick, how you doing?
Fine.
Okay. He doesn't really know. And then if I said Brian Ibbett, how are you? And you'd say,
Now it sounds like I'm pooping, Scott.
It does. It sounds like I'm going. Brian, you okay in there? Oh, I killed. Every time I knock my table, my microphone goes weird. Hold on. Go back. Okay, it did it. It fixed it.
What? How does it go weird? Like, what's happening with your...
I have a short that is so finite.
This is where you only hear out of one ear, right?
Yeah.
Only hear in one ear?
And it's so finite and so sensitive, it's in the mixer, that if I just tap the table enough, it's like it just gets off enough to kill one of these ears. And then if I tap it again, it sometimes goes back into place. I feel like I can't even touch my mixer. That's how dumb it is. I got to get a new one.
It's dumb, Scott.
It's super dumb. All right. Here's another. Speaking of drugs, let's stay on the drug.
All right. Yeah, let's stick with it.
The drug tip. South Dakota has a new slogan for their anti-methamphetamine efforts.
Okay.
And it's literally
All right, good.
called...
I'm glad that they're taking charge of a problem that runs rampant in their state.
Yep.
So good. I'm
Yep.
sure it's a very responsible way to.
You're sure whatever name they used is
Right,
doesn't
you
have
know,
a double
like-
meaning or any kind of
like
problem.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving, MAD. You know how
Yeah.
it like just says what it is perfectly and like communicates exactly what they're doing about it. Great. All right, tell me this new slogan, Scott.
Meth, we're on it.
Okay.
Perfect, right? Perfect?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well done.
Meth, we're on it. This is from Kristi Noem. She's the governor of South Dakota. Launched her new anti-meth campaign on Monday to bring awareness to meth epidemics that are happening there in South Dakota. This will include a new TV ad, billboards, posters, and website. The campaign's motto features the phrase, "Meth, we're on it," over an outline of South Dakota, the state, and the ad and posters feature people of different ages and races saying, "I'm on meth." South Dakota's meth crisis is growing at an alarming rate. Impacts every community in the state, she says in a public announcement. This is our problem, and together we need to get on it, she says. I think that's bad.
When I saw this on the internet, I 100% thought it was a joke. Like, all right, that's a funny joke. South Dakota slogan, meth, we're on it. Okay, haha.
Nope.
And I don't. But now knowing that it's real, I mean, I know what they're trying to say, right? We're on top of this. We're taking care of it.
Yeah.
We're on it.
Yeah, we're on it. We're on this. We're on the case, right?
There's no way that anybody looking at that in a marketing presentation,
Yeah.
won't people think that we're just saying that we're all on meth?
Well,
I hate to state the obvious here, Frank, but
well, let's say they're going more subtle here, because I could see the take that you're in the commercials. They feature people who are actually meth addicts saying, "I'm on meth." Okay, so they're going to combine the ads with those, and so I can see the idea of saying, "Oh, you're on meth. You're on meth. You're on meth. Hey, South Dakota, meth. We're on it," meaning the meaning you're saying. The problem is, I think even if they're trying to tiptoe around it to make it double, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah.
It's really stupid. You'd think somebody in that meeting would have piped up and said, "Guys, hey, fellas,
It's really just leaning into the punch.
don't
right?
you
It's
don't
like
you know
saying-
that's the wrong way to say that? If we say we're on it, well then we're on it. I know it. The heck do you mean? The heck do you mean? They'd say.
And somebody probably brought it up and said in the meeting and said, "No, it's going to make people think that we're saying we're on meth." And the marketing guy is saying, "Yeah, that's the point. It's going to attract attention. Like people will. This is going to be a huge viral campaign."
Yep.
Because of this, it's the retin linking of our national drug crisis.
Maybe that's what they are thinking. That this will just stir up enough interest because it's really hard to get noticed on the internet anymore. So maybe this is how you do it.
Yep.
Let's see. Photos of someone just sent a link to this. Oh no, okay. I think they're being more straight ahead about it, because there's just like this nice farmer, and then there's some kids in a high school football team, and they're just big text that says "meth, I'm on it." No, you're not.
Captain Kipper sent a link to where was this? There was a thing that was teaching people not to jerk their wheel when they were driving on a snowy or icy road, because it makes you slide out of control.
Yeah.
But the hashtag was "don't jerk and drive."
Oh, what were they doing? mean, again, it probably got more attention than it ever would have if it was normal, you know?
Yeah.
So part of me thinks that's the world we live in now. That if you want to get noticed, you got to do something that everyone thinks you screwed up on, but you really didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm conspiratorial about it.
This is your marketing department. This is your marketing department on drugs.
Yeah. So notice what's the or no, what do they say at the end? See, notice the difference or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I don't
Any
remember.
questions?
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
it.
any questions? That's it. I learned from you, Dad. I learned from you.
Which now I hear, if I say any questions, all I can think about is that Tom Hanks pumpkin suit guy. What was the guy's name? I'm Jack Pumpkins. No, I'm Larry. What the heck was that guy's? Larry S. David S. Pumpkins.
David
That's
S.
it.
Pumpkins.
I'm David S. Pumpkins. Any questions?
Speaking of him, I want to see his Mr. Rogers deal. When's that come out?
Yeah.
That's soonish, right?
I think Thanksgiving week. Isn't it Thanksgiving? It might be a Thanksgiving release.
Maybe I'll see that one on Thanksgiving. Yeah.
That'd be the time to see it, Scott.
Yeah, I like
There's
doing things
so many
on
movies I want to see right now, and we've got the A-list. We should be seeing lots of movies, but want to see Lighthouse, want to see The Good Liar, want to see Ford Fairlane versus Ferrari Fairlane.
Oh my gosh, you just ruined that movie, Ford Fairlane. That'd be bad if he was in that. Yeah, that looks really good. I keep hearing that's amazing, actually.
Hey, you want to put a...
Is it? Wait, are we getting your Andrew Dice Clay?
You're getting my very impromptu Andrew Dice Clay with zero practice and zero workshopping.
Okay. All right. Well, you got to start somewhere. I think it's fine. Why not?
Yeah, I'll start that one offline.
Why not? Why not in public where some 30,000 people will listen to you later? Why not?
Sure. Hey, Jack and Jill went up the hill.
Hey. I can't stand Andrew Dice Clay.
Bada bing, bada boom.
I'll go on the record and say he drives me crazy. Can't stand him. Don't like him.
Yeah.
Final story here. Nicolas Cage is in the news.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He is in
Cage.
talks to star as Nicolas Cage in a meta drama called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Lionsgate pushed aside several suitors and is in final negotiations to pick up the meta movie project that references Leaving Las Vegas, Face Off, and more. Nicolas Cage has spent past several years knocking out low-budget yarn after another, making disposable thrillers and interesting oddities sometimes in the same year. Other than some occasional voice work, the latest major studio release starring the actor was 2011's Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. So since 2011, everything else has been just weird offshoot stuff. Like
Right. You told me that Mandy thing is fantastic. It's
I
still on
loved
my list
it.
that I want to see it.
I
Yeah.
loved it. It's freaking weird though. Like I've never packed. It's the weirdest thing I've seen in a few years. Like weird movie.
Yeah.
I think it's streaming on something more major than just Shudder now. It's on.
Do you think it's the fact that he doesn't want to do big, or that he's not getting offered any major motion pictures, or maybe he just likes the indie kind of feel, like
maybe
the indie.
But some of
process.
it's like just bad, like low budget bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's just trying to pay the bills. There was some talk for a while that he was super in debt and had to just take whatever. I don't know if that would ended up being true or if that's still the case or what the deal is, but he's in a weird place. But anyway, this could be super interesting. Cage could be back in a big way as he finds himself in the center of a hot deal for a project in which he would play the most iconic character in Hollywood, Nicolas Cage. Beating out several suitors such as HBO Max and Paramount, Lionsgate is now in final negotiations to pick it up. It's called, again, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. The Hollywood Reporter has learned the meta movie project has a script by Ton Gormican and Kevin Eaton, and Gormican is attached to direct. It sounds like it'll be. I mean, I'll watch that, whatever that is.
Yeah, it's gonna be campy, and it's gonna be like that. I assume like that JCVD, the Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh right, yeah. I'd probably like that. Very self-referential, maybe a little bit being John Malkovich-y. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. When they do that kind of thing, what else am I thinking of? Oh, the thing with Joey in it.
Extras?
No.
Not extras. That was Ricky Gervais. Episodes.
Episodes. That was a fun way to do that.
That was, yeah, and it was him playing a very Yeah, so that is the question. Is it going to be kind of like almost like a biopic documentary kind of thing, or is it going to be Nicolas Cage playing an over-the-top version of Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Biopic,
Which
I
hope for the latter. Yeah.
Yeah, I want the latter as well. I mean, I'm trying to think. The only time it ever worked for me that somebody played themselves and I could still take it seriously was that Howard Stern movie was actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, Private Parts. Yeah.
And he played himself, which seems even at the time now and at the time seemed like, what are you doing? You don't play yourself in a movie about yourself. Like that just seems
getting ready to read his new book right here.
Oh yeah, I didn't know he had a new book.
Yep, it's about interviewing actually, which is what I think one of his strengths is he's a fantastic interviewer.
Yeah, he likes to.
He throws people off on the interviews and gets them to really open up.
So did you order a hardbound book from like a book store? Like what'd you do?
Went to a Barnes and Noble.
What year is this? What year is it right now?
There's some things that I just kind of like reading like an actual book, but I did go because I wanted to get some prizes to give away on Guess the Connection.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So, about that, but then I also ended up picking up a book called How Not to Be a Dick.
Oh, that seems good.
Yeah.
Seems like the right thing to do.
There's like life lessons in here, like how not to be a dick.
I wonder, does he read his own audio version? I'll bet he does. It's probably him.
Oh, I wonder, how do you? A lot of these are transcribed interviews, so I'm guessing the audio version probably would be his introductions and then just the audio of the interviews.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, I wonder what he does. Well, anyway, you'll have to let us know how that is. Right now, though, we got to take a break. When we come back, Bill, jury, all that. A song first, please. What have you?
Okay, how about that? This is a Melbourne born artist named Ben Witkowski. Ben Witkowski. That is a rock and roll name, if I ever heard one before. No, you're going to like this. If you're a fan of folks like Mumford & Sons or of Monsters and Men, you're going to like this kind of Lumineers kind of feel to this. It's really, really good. The song's called Mountain Man, and it's about overcoming one's doubts and fears to become the best version of yourself. Wow. So do that. Acoustic guitar, violin, harmonies, powerful vocals. Here is Ben Witkowski and the song Mountain Man.
But here we go. The moment is nigh. If not now, when? If not me, who? Me, who? Ready? Hold it there.
The one soap your family really needs.
The Morning Stream with Scott Johnson Man and Brian Ibbett Man. Excelsior!
And we're back, everybody. We're back.
All right. If the question's been asked, I know it's been asked during a dozen Ask TMSs, who I'd like, what person, real or fictional, living or dead, I'd like to have dinner with. I'm now changing my answer to Jeff Goldblum. I want to go to a Bonanza buffet or a
something really kitschy. It'd have to be super kitschy.
I want to take Jeff Goldblum to Casa Bonita and have dinner with him.
Yes. That's a great idea.
Oh, this really isn't food, is it though, really? It's you can't really call this food, Brian. It's
yeah. He's so weird.
Is this a cheese a sauce?
I would be amazing. Who would have been before him though? Who would you have said before?
Probably somebody, John Lennon or something like that.
Oh, music-y. Some music dude. Yeah.
Some music person.
Some music-y person.
Music-y person.
They exist. They're out there. All right.
Yeah.
Bill Duran time.
Yeah, Bill Duran.
Yeah, let's see what he's got this week. It should be fun. It's always
got
fun.
A bone to pick with Bill Duran.
Oh, all right. I like it when you pick a bone.
Bone to pick.
Yeah, picking them bones, yo. Here is his intro theme, right here.
But Bill just isn't thinking about danger.
Welcome to the show, everybody. One Bill Duran, all the way from the Pacific Northwest and PunishProps.com. Bill, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good morning. I am doing fantastic.
Ah, that's awesome. Let's get this out of the way. Brian says he has a bone to pick with you. Brian,
dear.
Pick his
I have
bone.
a bone to pick with you.
Yeah, pick his bone.
So I, went to two Joann's, two Joann fabrics that are now just called Joann. It's kind of like the DKFCing of Joann fabrics. And you give me this task to build this awesome foam head, but you do it 2 weeks after Halloween when all they have is 2 millimeter Yayahan foam.
Oh no, they're all bought out.
They're all bought out. Exactly.
Didn't think of that.
I went by about one piece of their last piece of 5 millimeter so I can do the nose. And then I went next door to Harbor Freight Tools and just got some
floor mats. Perfect.
So hold on a second.
It's got air bubbles and crap in it.
Why the rush on that stuff? Why did it go? Why do you think it sold out just
because
this time of year?
Halloween cosplay and stuff.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's almost like someone sent hundreds of thousands of people to Joann's to buy foam.
Yeah, you get the word out on your channel. We spread it a little bit here. Like eventually, you're gonna run out of foam. World. That's how it's gonna go.
Now I want some. Now I gotta get some. But I'm gonna use the floor foam and make my foam head this week.
Perfect. That'll be fun.
Well, now that your bone's been sufficiently picked, bring us this week's funness. What's going on with your world? What's happening?
So today I want to talk about rules in the shop.
Okay.
Or more just like rules for the studio. So if you're an artist and you work mostly by yourself, and when I got started doing this, that was me alone in my basement building props and costumes.
Yeah.
When you're by yourself, whatever behavior you live by in the shop to get by and stay productive is fine. Whatever works for you is okay.
Yeah.
However, when you start throwing other people into the mix and building your team, it becomes a lot more difficult to accomplish anything if all of those people are running on a different set of behaviors and expectations. This is something that I'm learning now as I build my team. There's just more people, and at some point you have to come up with a set of guidelines and expectations so that everyone's generally on the same page.
I like this.
Sort of a philosophy for your studio or your shop or your business.
Right.
I thought you were going to say falafel, but I agree with that.
Falafel, yes. That's
Yes.
also good.
I also agree with falafels. Yeah.
Shop philosophy number 1. Falafels every day.
Wow, that's how you attract your initial partners. That's how they all get in there. Okay.
So I'm not just talking about safety rules. Obviously, safety rules in a working shop with power tools are important. But these are more rules about how work gets done. And something that inspired me to kind of investigate this path is the artist Tom Sachs. He's a New York City artist, does a lot of stuff with found objects. He's obsessed with NASA. And he has a studio in New York City, which I can't even imagine how much it costs to rent a studio in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's got like 10 people working for him, and he's developed a set of rules he calls his 10 bullets. And they are specific rules for his studio that everyone who works there must follow. And if they do, work gets done properly.
Okay.
And I'm going to share some of them. And I'm not necessarily saying these are all rules that everyone should have or that I should have, but I think the process of creating these rules can be important.
Interesting.
So let's dive into some of Tom Sachs' 10 bullets.
All right.
First one is just be on time. It seems like a simple thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we start our work at 10 a.m. every day, and I expect everyone to be there at 10 a.m. every day, and it's not a problem. If someone can't be on time, they should call ahead of time. Not a big deal. You're not gonna be on time? Just let us know.
Yeah.
So that everyone has the right expectations. So that one's pretty obvious, right? Just be on time so that everyone can get working at the same time.
Sure.
Some of the other ones, though, I think are really cool because of how simple the instruction is and how much you can accomplish with it. So one of the other rules they have is be thorough. Whatever job you're doing, whatever task you're doing, do the whole thing. Do the steps before it, do the steps after it. And they have a really great example where a woman is soldering a wire back together, and they go through all the steps. She gets her workstation set up. She solders the wires together. She puts heat shrink tubing on it. But then when she's done, she cleans the workstation, and then she puts all of her tools back away so that someone else can use it. And then when she was working, she noticed that the heat shrink tubing is almost run out. So before she's done, she has to go to the shop supervisor, let him know to order more heat shrink tubing. So just that one concept of being thorough encompasses a full set of tasks for every task someone is assigned to, and a really great expectation that I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is
and
good.
Elegant.
You know what's nice is in your case, like in a shop environment, I like how many tangible things there are in there. Meaning, meaning it's a lot of sort of physicality of, if we're out of the heat tubing, shrink tubing, we need more. Obvious thing. Apply a rule to everything that runs out, everything that's consumed, and now you have a program for that, and it's just very methodical. Like I see it, I do it. It feels like in the digital space, it's harder to do that. It's easier just to shove something to a folder and forget about it.
Yeah, I think it is easier in a digital space to become disorganized quicker.
Yeah.
So, for example, and I'm guilty of this as I look at my desktop right now, I would prefer to have 0 things on my desktop.
Sure. Yeah.
Because the desktop is just a catch-all for clutter. Oh, I don't know where to put this.
Distraction. Yep, exactly.
Same.
I'll just save it on the desktop, and then it lives there. And then you make a folder on your desktop, and you put everything in there. And then you look in that folder, and okay, I'll make a subfolder. And then before you know it, it's just every file on your hard drive is in that one folder on your desktop. You're like, how do I live like this?
Yeah.
Yes. It's like your own it's your own procrastinator to-do list, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One of the other there's a bunch, and it's worth checking out these 10 bullets. Another great one that he has is just the concept of confirming with another person that you understand the message they've conveyed to you. So this happens a lot when we're working, because Brittany and I, we film together, and we both have an idea of what we think the video is going to look like in our heads. But just because we both have an idea doesn't mean they're the same idea, right?
Sure.
So when we explain, I'll explain, oh, I think the next few shots should be this, this, and this. And when I explain it, in my head it makes sense, and in Brittany's head it makes sense, but it may not be the same thing. Getting that verbal confirmation of just saying, ooh, I understand, or saying, I don't understand, can you please explain that in a different way?
Right.
Taking the time to confirm that a message has been understood or not can fix so many problems with team communication. It's one of those things that you don't realize until you're in a team environment and you've had misunderstandings because people had different ideas in your head, that you realize we really need to button this down. We need to make sure everyone knows what everyone's on the same page.
Sure.
Just having a rule to say, just verbally confirm that you understand when you're passing off information should be enough to help alleviate a lot of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's good advice.
There's a bunch more. I really recommend folks check it out. Even if you work on your own, these are good philosophies to work by on your own, because even though you may not work with someone else, you are working with yourself. And if you leave a mess, there's only one person who has to deal with it, and it's you. So you might as well save future you some trouble and be thorough.
Sure. Thoreau is good. He's not just a good author. Oh, wait, that's Thoreau. Sorry, got that mixed up. That's great. Good advice. You're making me think about my process, and sometimes
it's not even just people who share an office. It's people who work together even remotely, like Scott and I.
Yeah. And we have one guy on our team who lives in LA, so he's remote, and these rules apply to him just as much as everyone else.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so I took this list, the Tom Sachs list, and I started writing down my own list. And what I found was that I ended up coming up with a list of my behaviors. It's a list of how I work.
Yeah.
I tried to think, what are the things I do on purpose that make me as productive as possible?
Yeah.
And that I came up with my list. And there are a lot of sentiments I share with this Tom Sachs list, but I have some other things that are more important to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's even if you just do it as a brain exercise to sort of like get a bird's eye view of how you work, it's a really great exercise.
Yeah. I think this is really cool. I can't think of anybody this wouldn't help. even people who aren't running their own shop, studio, or office have to work in some environment, and how maybe they only have to worry about their stuff, but there's ways to improve the way you do things. Don't have to run the place to have it get improved. So I think that's great. Tom Sachs is spelled like you think it is, chat room. S-A-X. So
S-A-C-H-S.
Oh, the one I found is S-A-X. How come 10bullets.com has S-A-X in it? Hold on.
Because he's an artist and he's a weirdo.
Oh,
probably.
Right. That explains it.
coming from a weirdo artist. Thank
Yeah,
you very much.
you guys-
my
you-
people can use that word.
You're
He
weird.
also plays the sax.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, he's got it in 2 different places. A Google search will get you there, but yes, SACHS. And if you go to his homepage, there's links to it as well. TomSachs.org. Ooh, his stuff's cool. Look at that.
Yeah, he's wild.
Wow.
So my recommendation for today is a short film called 10 Bullets, and it is a short film that describes their 10 rules. And it's really fun. It's a art house feeling, like low budget but kind of grand in scope as far as like a orientation video for your employees. I think it's really great and it's worth checking out.
All right.
21 minutes. That's not a
21 minutes
short
long.
film.
Have you watched any of my videos lately, Brian? They're pushing an hour. That
That's true,
Mandalorian
yes.
is pretty long.
Actually, do you have data on how your longer ones do compared to your shorter ones or any of that sort of
They do great.
stuff? Okay.
Yep, I do.
Interesting.
We can look at retention,
Yeah.
and if like 30% of people stick around for the whole thing, that's pretty amazing. And it's a little low for the longer videos, but like 20% of people are sticking around for an hour-long video. I think that's pretty.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
But there's no data to prove that the longer ones are more satisfying, right? No data proves that.
There's plenty of data to prove they're an awful lot more work to make.
Yeah.
I can give you that data.
I think that data exists in droves. It's not just you.
That's so true.
That's fantastic. All right. Well, good stuff as always. Bill, always a pleasure to have you here. And that's our bonus link there is that movie, right? That's what you're giving us today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you already told us that.
10 Bullets, Tom Sachs.
10 Bullets, Tom
CHS.
Sachs, not with a...
Do not Google 10 Bullets by Tom Sachs.
No.
That you get a completely different video.
Yeah, because if you do, this will happen.
You come before me with an empty sack.
Yeah, that's an empty sack. Bill Duran, everybody, punishprops.com. Of course, Chin Beard on Twitter. Bill, it's always good to talk to you. We'll talk to you later.
See you later.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Very good.
Yeah, it was good. Now...
Speaking of longer and more satisfying, it's time for Justin Robert Young.
That could mean about 5 different things. How long a segment is.
Oh, you know what it means.
But I think I know what you mean, Brian. I think I know. All right, here's his theme.
The jury will now retire.
Nope, wrong one. Here we go.
These are their stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
And I keep forgetting to play this whenever like the debates come up, but here's that. I do all these little clips for jury, but I never play them all. Anyway, Justin Robert Young, everybody. He is with us, as always, from Oakland, California. How's it going?
Hi, friends. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
Doing great.
Nice to see
Oh,
you.
look at that one. That's the that is the Diamond Club logo with the Marriott carpet.
Oh
from
yeah,
Dragon Con.
which has kind of officially become the like Dragon Con print now that it doesn't exist anymore. So now it is.
Oh, that's
it is the kind of like universally understood to be Dragon Con flag.
That's
Nice.
pretty
Oh, that's
great.
fantastic.
Wow, I love it. I didn't even know that existed. That's one I would buy. When are you still doing stickers and stuff, or is that you don't do those anymore?
No, I had to shut that down just because it's one of those things that you can't you can't like just kind of do whenever you want.
Yeah.
Because you're still paying for Shopify, you're still paying for other infrastructure things, and also it was like it got to a point where I was coming up against deadlines for other stuff that I really needed to finish, where I was like, oh crap, this is when I need to think about designs for stickers and get them commissioned and get them done and get them finished and get them proofed and get them to the printer. And it's like, you
Yeah.
want to know what? So I just blew out all the stock a couple months ago, and I'll do merch again, but I not the store anymore.
Well, when you do, let Carter and I know. You can get some stickers out of us again. We'd be happy to do it.
Oh yeah, I mean it was not for lack of really rad merch. Like I think we made some really cool stuff. It's really just, I don't know. This has been like kind of my last like 2 years is trying to figure out. You spend so much time thinking like, oh my God, I could do this X amount better, Y amount better if I had more time or more focus. And some of that's BS. You should just kind of work harder. But some of it, I think for me, was like, oh wait, like if I do take this off my plate almost immediately,
You
the
know.
stuff that I'm working on gets kind of like exponentially better.
I have the same issue, and man, has it been hard for me to figure out where to trim anything. It really sucks. Because sometimes I'll go, well, there is this one show that doesn't make any revenue, so maybe that should be the one to go. But then I start thinking about how much I love doing it. And then I go, I don't know if I can do it. And then I think about all the fans are going to be pissed if I cancel that one or whatever. Like, I hate that feeling.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, and look, you know, when I at the time that we stopped doing Unfriend Me, it was probably among the like top 3 shows that was even like that I was on.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
I think it had a really good, a very dedicated audience that still yells at me.
Yeah.
I
get it all the time. I have people always pipe in on something, like we'll say, I'll be on just a game stream. I was playing Red Dead Redemption yesterday on PC, and I said something about, there was a social commentary about the Old West, about how things used to be done or something, and the way women were treated versus men or something like that. And then every time something like that comes up, someone in the chat room, sounds like a good topic for Unfriend Me if that existed.
And then you just respond, oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah?
No, yeah. No, the answer to that is just give them my Twitter account.
Yeah, do it there. We can do it there. It's fine.
But yeah, I mean, look, let me just say this. As far as Unfriend Me goes, I'm about to wrap up this project that I've been working on for the last 2 years. So I'm gonna have a little bit more time. Maybe we can have a conversation about doing a short run of Unfriend Me.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll do like a, I don't know, we'll do like a kickstarted season or something. And
yeah. I mean, to be honest, I think the biggest thing now is just we came of age in a world of podcasting where all the projects lasted forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that is healthy for all projects.
Right.
Like, I do think that Unfriend Me will be back, and Unfriend Me will be back in a, like, we're going to do 6 episodes.
Right.
We're going to do 8 episodes.
Right.
And then it'll go away. And that way, the 6 to 8 episodes that we do will be researched. It won't just be like 30 minutes of Googling from me and then Scott saying, oh, look at that. Like, and then, you know, and I think that there was an element of that was great, but it's like, I wasn't super well informed. Scott wasn't super well informed. I think we wound up getting to good, the thing that is unreplicatable is the honesty that was there.
Yeah.
And that's something that you just want to put more of a house around it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe sometimes when we're talking about things that involve, you know, experiences outside the purview of 2 white married men, that maybe we could bring in other voices, you know, so it's not just, you know, the
You
same
need a
conversation
third
having.
married white man.
That's
what
right.
You need.
Yeah. More
Exactly.
more successfully married white men who have no other perspective outside of that. That's a great idea. Let's do that.
So I mean, I think that's, but again, it's like we could never have that thought when we were doing it week by week,
Right.
because then it was always like we were stretching to find like the thing that we needed to do. Anyway, my larger point is beyond Unfriend Me, but I have found a tremendous amount of freedom in the idea of all right, I'm going to go all in on a limited run project, which in this moment in time is Raise the Dead.
Yeah.
And when it's out, it'll be out. And then I can think about what happens afterward. I can think about if I want to bring it back. I can think about what the next version would be, and then I can go ahead with that if it's successful.
Well, it's like
you
said, like there is a, like if you got into if you were podcasting or just trying to like dip your feet into this stuff in 2000, 2006, whatever, 2005 rather, in 2006, there was a sense that whatever show you started would be the show you would die on. You just die on that hill. Like you just made it and it was going to go in perpetuity forever. And it's funny. One of the reasons I started TMS is because I wanted one show that it kind of is that should go on forever until someone has no voice or has our larynx ripped out by an alien or whatever. So it just sort of persists forever. Yeah, like a lot of morning shows do. Those guys die there, you know. So part of me was thinking that was a good idea. But then I look at other projects and I kind of had the same I've retained a lot of the same attitudes, like The Instance, 14 years old. Like, we're still going. Like I don't know if that has any right to still be on the air, but yet there it is. Like, it's a weird thing in your head to kind of go, well, especially in the sea of choices now, it seems like almost like you're better off. If you're going to do a new project, do something with a set endpoint and then get it out there so that it's a thing in time and is significantly a thing in time and stays there. It isn't just we're just doing it forever because we're just doing it. I don't know. This is
well, and I think also for you with The Instance in particular, and I would say also for Brian with Coverville, you guys have a unique situation where you have some old growth listeners.
Yeah.
Like you guys were on a platform when it was very young. And so therefore, if the same fraction of the people that were going to pay attention to your kind of content, like at that point, there was just way less options. And so you have a lot of old growth listeners, and old growth listeners very often like don't go away. You are going to have a floor for those podcasts forever. And it doesn't matter what you do with it.
Like we gave them the meth really early on when there weren't a lot of other meth dealers. And
exactly.
They're connected to our meth.
Yeah.
And so that is complicating psychologically on two fronts. Number one, you have the element of like, oh my God, I've been with you since I was a fetus, and now I'm the president of the United States, right? And on the other hand, you also look at like other stuff that you launch, and you're like, oh wow, that's not to that level. And in a lot of ways, it kind of can't be, right? It would be odd if it could. Now that you're launching something new in a field that's way more complicated.
Yeah, you're totally right. I mean, this obviously. People listening to this is very shop talky, but I think it's probably going to be helpful for some people to hear this, because I think there's some lessons to be learned from how we've done things, and maybe how we're wanting to do things, and how things are being done outside of our little been at this for 15 years point of view.
Yeah.
So it's always good to revisit that stuff.
And look, this is it. I've spent the last 2 years trying to optimize the stuff that I'm doing, because that's the one thing that I felt like I proved is at a certain point when you're doing something week after week after week, and we can kind of segue this into America's Next Top Podcaster, which had a very difficult elimination on the feed this week, and I encourage everybody to go listen to it. But at a certain point, the lesson that you want to learn is, can I do this every week?
Right.
Can I do this when I'm sick? Can I do this when I'm upset? Can I do this when there's a tech failure? Do I make sure that no matter what, I keep this connection with the audience? Or if I skip a week, the first time you do have to skip a week, or you do something that's out of the ordinary, do you return to form? Do you get back to it?
Right.
And I feel like, I think at the point that I started trying to optimize stuff, like 8 years in, I'd proven that to myself. I feel like it's like I've
got the legs to
have
do
that
this.
ethic, right?
Right.
And so it became you kind of have to make hard choices, and I stopped recording everything I do online. I stopped streaming all my recordings, and that was an effort to kind of make the audio a little bit better and the editing a little bit more crisp, so it had a better sound quality to it. And that comes with disappointment for people. I got an email yesterday about somebody saying like, hey, I really hate the new format for PX3. What I loved before was that you didn't, and I'm doing the stupid email voice. And I apologize.
Of course, because everyone who emails sounds like that. Yeah,
I know.
Tweets.
Yeah, I mean, it's just how I'm reading it in my head, right?
Sure.
But it was basically like, it's not what I liked. It's not what I liked before.
Right.
And the hardest part as a creator is you can get mad at that if you want, but realistically, you have nothing to say to it.
Yeah.
Because it is not what they liked, right? It's different.
We do, Hammond and I do soundography to tape, and then he edits it, but I do Coverville live to a stream. And I don't think I'd ever be able to go back to doing Coverville without an audience because of the the interaction during the show. Now, with PX3, you're constantly talking, so while you're talking, you're also trying to manage the chat room and respond there. Whereas with Coverville, there's long swaths of time where I'm playing music, where I can be responding and getting feedback from the chat room, and using that.
For me, Film Sack's always my go-to example of this, which just hit 10 years, so another long one. But that show is one of the shows on the network with the most numbers. It has been consistently successful, partly because it's been around for a long time and it's just glommed on listeners over time. But one of the things I love about it is that it does not have a live component. It would be a different kind of show. It would feel different. Everybody would act a little different. It would suffer from that. So it benefits from this like off-air focus, old school approach to we're making a radio show in a room that no one's allowed in, and then you'll get to hear it when we're done, sort of thing. And I like that about it.
It's nice, tight. It's mean, we don't get distractions from the chat or anything like that for doing a live stream. We don't have to try and finagle cameras and stuff like that to make that work. Real quick, I do want to say, Jury, Raise the Dead. First episode, enjoyed it. Tina and I listened, enjoyed after your tongue lashing last week. Tina and I listened.
Gentle reminder. Although I did try to foment a mob of your own listeners to bother you.
I know you didn't have to. Yeah. Okay. Wasn't a tongue lashing. It was a gentle reminder. Yeah. Enjoyed it tremendously. One recommendation: episode numbers. That's all.
Oh, because you didn't know where to start.
I didn't know. I was looking at the list because they're all posted on the same day.
Okay. Yeah. I thought I had put numbers in front of the things, but I probably didn't. So
no, but that's all right. Yeah. And the plural of campaigns doesn't have an apostrophe. Small thing. No apostrophe in campaigns.
Wait, which one is called? It has campaigns.
Campaigns aren't one.
It's got a campaigns aren't one because it has an apostrophe.
Campaign aren't one. Yeah.
That's why Jenny Josephson moment. That's all I'm going to say.
That's good.
Everything else about it. Tremendously.
I need to put it into the America's Next Top Podcaster Discord because they certainly have a right to yell at me.
Give them.
Give them the chance to
turn the
that was a little unmemorable. I don't even remember listening to it.
Yeah. What's the point of this?
Why should I care?
It should all start this way. This is how Justin starts all his reviews, and it's whether it's positive or negative. Here's Justin. He goes, okay, so he'll say, all right, first judge, Justin Robert Young. And he'll go, guys.
Yes.
That's my impression. And scene. Ta-da.
Long pause. I really enjoyed this. Like,
I know. It's really good, though.
That's when the tense reality show music changes into positive reality show music.
Yeah, exactly.
During that pause.
I don't know whether or not I have a tell on that. I know it's tick, but I don't know whether or not there's a tell that a guy is for criticism or praise.
Yeah, I don't think you do.
I
never
can't
know.
really speak to that because I'm looking at your notes, so I know what you're going to say before you say it, or roughly. I know you're.
And normally, like in our group chat or in our conversations before, there's even more pointed. I try to refine what I'm saying so it is constructive. Before we start.
Well, I personally like it as an intro, and I think it's not your shtick, but it's kind of become a thing, and I like it.
It is. Don't ever let it go.
Yeah,
it is definitely a thing, and I do know I do it, but I don't know if I could ever stop. I think it is. Yeah. It just like kind of, like the racking of the shotgun. Rhetorically for me.
It totally is. That's a really good description.
I like that. So all right, before we go too far down this road, I had a question of a political nature for you.
Go.
It's conspiratorial. But how do you feel about this particular conspiracy currently boiling around that Trump, who somewhat unexpectedly checked into Walter Reed the other day, White House says, he's just getting some early tests, so he's ready for his vigorous 2020 campaigning run. Was their thing, but it was kind of off the schedule. It was out of nowhere. Everyone, and they wouldn't let reporters anywhere near anything at Walter Reed. Normally, that's no big deal if you're just going there. So they got real weird about that. And he has not physically been seen since on any videos, any events, any showing up anywhere, walking around the White House, nothing. So
I keep seeing this video of him walking, which I thought was current, of him walking around the White House when they keep talking about he's leaning towards the idea of possibly forming a committee to discuss the chance of him speaking at the impeachment hearing.
That could be
But
just
that's probably
stock
old
footage.
B-roll footage.
Yeah, I think it's B-roll. I mean, I don't know. If you believe this conspiracy, it's definitely B-roll.
So he is tweeting.
Yes, he is tweeting, or someone's tweeting just like him. And let's be honest, Justin. If I really wanted to, if someone said, Scott, you're in charge of the Twitter account while he's down, I could do it. I could sound just like him. I could say things like, in all caps, greatest witch hunt ever.
Wait a minute. Hold on. This is actually going to happen.
What is?
What you just proposed. So, Ibit, do you follow the president on Twitter, or do you?
I do not. No, I
Okay.
don't. I get all my Trump news from Scott because I feel like it's unbiased and fair and responsive.
And I'll tell you what, if there's one person that I know that pays very close attention to the president's Twitter, it would be Scott Johnson.
Yeah,
So,
That's true. Yeah.
Too much, maybe.
here's what I want you to do tomorrow.
Oh, boy.
All right.
All right.
Scott, you take a look at the president's Twitter, the
Mhm.
real president's Twitter,
Mhm.
and then you write your own distinctly separate versions, and then you read them both to Brian, and Brian has to determine
And I guess what's the
whether or
real?
not-
Oh my
yeah,
God, I love this.
whether or
Yes.
not it was a real Trump tweet or it is Scott pretending to be Trump.
And that
Because I
is-
want to see whether or not this is real.
I do too. And also, by the way, that's a really fun game, and it would work on the show, even out of the context of Tuesday's political talk, because it's a nonpartisan effort. Like everyone knows his tweets are blustery, no matter what side of anything you're on.
Well,
So-
I mean, here's the only thing that matters to me is that this is a fairly arrogant statement by you to say that you could accurately, to the point, you could pass the Turing test as a Trump Twitter bot.
Oh, I totally could. I know all of the words, what he capitalizes, what he doesn't, where he puts quotes inappropriately,
See,
like
that's the
all
thing.
of it.
Are you going to tell me misspellings and weird capitalization and
Kofefe?
In fact, here's what you need to do. You actually just need to email Brian the raw text of both.
Okay. I'll do that. You
And-
can't cheat and go look them up, though. You have to not.
I won't. Nope,
Okay.
I won't.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And then Brian reads them out loud, because that's the thing, is like you might have a tell if you're reading them.
Right.
Right.
Right. And then he has to read them and then tell me which one was me.
And then tell which one was you and which one was the actual president.
This is a great idea. This now, back in 2006, I'd say, hey, this sounds like its own podcast. Let's make a podcast and have it run from perpetuity. Let's do it forever and never end it. All right. So then, so back to the conspiracy.
Yes.
The theory is, let's say he's tweeting from inside the hospital, whatever. The theory is that he's something's wrong, maybe gravely wrong, and he's in a hospital bed, and maybe even if you believe in the whole someone else is tweeting for him thing, maybe not even with us anymore. What do you make anything of this? I mean, it is weird he hasn't been seen at all since the seemingly abrupt trip to that hospital.
I mean, yes and no. It's not odd for the president to not be out in public and in a 48-hour span. Obviously, if there was political or media attention around the idea that he hasn't been out, then you might think that he would look to capitalize on that.
Yeah.
But that being said, let's say that this is indeed a Dave situation, right?
Oh, Dave, I love movie Dave.
the Kevin Klein,
Kevin Klein movie.
Sigourney Weaver is the first lady. I love it. Love
first
that movie.
lady.
where we're not sure if he's gay or straight, and he in or out or
Right.
No,
that's
different
a
thing.
different-
Different thing.
That's a different
Kevin
thing.
Klein movie.
Different
That's where
Kevin
there's someone named Wanda and she's
No,
a fish.
wrong,
It's a fish.
wrong.
Yeah.
See, this one, Brian.
I'm still trying to figure out how to get into Princess Caribou. I can't do it, so we'll just go back to.
Kevin
Dave,
Klein is a
movie Dave.
presidential impersonator, and the president has a heart attack, and is like in a coma, I believe, actually.
Yeah.
And Kevin Klein effectively in a Prince and the Pauper scenario takes over the role of the president.
Yeah.
And then falls in love with the first lady, and it's a thing.
Yeah. And then
that being said,
yes.
Let's say that this is a Dave scenario.
Yeah, I love that movie, by the way. Keep going.
If you were to list in descending order the White House staffs that could keep this secret, empirically, I believe that the Trump administration would be last.
It's a fair
They
point.
can't keep secrets for anything. They are constantly narking on each other. They are constantly talking to the press. They are constantly yelling about who's an idiot and why they're dumb for doing it. There are few things that are dramatic that happen in that White House that I feel like we don't have at least a general sketch of within 12 hours to Maggie Haberman or Philip Pump.
I think Giuliani would accidentally send a text that's intended for Donald Trump.
He would just tweet, "New Trump, just as great as the old one."
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea of it, not the Dave scenario, because there's nobody. We're not going to get a double. Like, there's no body double. Nobody can stand like the front end of a centaur while he's answering questions from the press the way he does, which is really just to hide his pee-pee pad, and we all know it. But anyway, the point is this. Just getting some digs in where I can.
Sure.
Also, you're just into the deep lore on this. Like, I don't even get like you. I cover politics for a living, and you're making references to things that might as well be on the instance. Like, I just don't know what you're talking about.
Here's what you should do.
He wears a pee-pee pad?
Oh, I'm 100% sure he wears a pee-pee pad. There's a video of him with Melania leaving for golf or whatever, and he's wearing some white golf pants. And the way he moves around absolutely shows a big old freaking fat diaper right in the front. There's no way that's not a diaper. And that's, hey, incontinence. People have it. You get it, especially older people, especially people who have been taking Sudafed every day for the last 30 years to try to stay awake, which is another thing I know about him. I know a lot of deep lore about this president.
Do.
I do.
You do.
So... anyway, the point is, like, there's, that desk, that shot in his old, the old shot before he was president where he's eating that bowl of thing, and he
the
says,
taco bowl.
yeah, and he's saying, the Hispanics love me and all of that. The best part of that photo is the part everyone thinks it's the Marla Maples photo in a swimsuit in the newspaper, or there's all this stuff around, all this detritus, and everybody's like trying to, discover what everything is. One of my favorites of all of that is the drawer behind his desk over there is a little bit ajar and open, and in there are stacks of Sudafed boxes. Stacks of them.
Really?
Yeah. And
I never even noticed that.
I mean, and Sudafed is a stimulant, and it keeps you, on fire all the time. And I think he takes a ton of those, and one of the side effects of taking too many of those for too long is incontinence. You start pee-peeing yourself. So I'm just saying there's a lot of stuff adding up. Now, the thing about the Centaur stand... That's a known deal. I'm going to put this in the chat so you guys can see it. And I think he does it because he's, again, trying to hide the thing. But he looks like the front half of a centaur without the back horsepower.
Oh, no. That's a fact. Yes. No, that is known. Yes. Khaleesi.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all I had to say about that. But anyway, the point is, like, it wouldn't be unprecedented for people around presidents to hide a medical thing, like it happened with FDR to some level with his polio. They had a bunch of cases like this, so it's not that crazy.
No. But that was an open secret. That was a secret amongst the public, but not amongst the staff and the press.
Right.
Like, they knew that he had polio, and they didn't report it because that was at a different point in which, access journalism was absolute, and if you reported it, then you would never work in journalism again. But that was not a secret in the room. In the room, people knew, and the rumors got around. All I'm saying is this: is if there were legit rumors of that, we would hear more than just us yahoos, kibitzing on the morning stream.
You think so? We'd have leaks by now.
Oh my God! Because either the medical situation, let's say it's not a double or anything, right? Or he is tweeting, but he's laid up and he had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that we wouldn't hear? Well, also, like, I don't know why he would go to Walter Reed if he did have a heart attack. You got to figure that they have stuff on staff or in-house where they could take care of something like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you'd think so. Although, I mean, the best of facilities are going to be at the hospital, one would think. So
Sure.
Emergency stuff, sure, but I'm not even sure it would be like a heart attack. What if it was like I don't know, his wee fell off, or I don't know what happened. Something bad happened. He cut his finger, tried to make an orange, cut an orange open, cut his finger off. Well, I guess they'd still take care of that there. I don't know. I can't think of a good example of what it would be. But
I mean, because without it, like, all right. So then the high water mark of embarrassing medical emergencies, at least in our lifetime, would probably be W choking on a pretzel and falling over.
Oh yeah,
and
that was
hitting
a
his
good
head,
one.
right?
Yeah.
And who knows whether or not that was the actual thing, right?
Right.
That happened in the middle of the day. So, like, timeline, who knows, right?
Yeah.
But that would probably be the high water mark. And we found about that within minutes.
Yeah. That's true. That happened right away. There was no waiting around for that. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right. And like most conspiracies, it's all horse shit because you just don't have enough information, so our brains are sewing together.
Well, I guess, I mean, like, I'm all in for the conspiracy. I just think that it is unlike, I mean, number one, my biggest thing against conspiracies isn't that they're not awesome. In fact, we have a whole podcast, Weird Things, dedicated to, the fact that conspiracies aren't real. They're great.
Yeah.
But the thing that always trips me up is who keeps those levels of secrets?
Right.
And who keeps those levels of secrets forever? I get 5 people keeping a secret, but more than that, and specifically more than that in the Trump administration.
In this campaign?
I don't know.
Yeah, probably not. Do you remember when Bush Sr. barfed on the Japanese guy? That was pretty good.
Of course. Yeah, Japanese prime minister.
What was that? Okay. Let me just say this.
Yeah.
After about age 5, I knew how to direct a barf if I needed to. Like, at some point, you got a little time, okay? You know what's coming. And B, your first instinct is to lean to the guy to your right, who happens to be the Prime Minister of Japan, and then barf on his lap. It just blew my mind back then.
I know you haven't barfed in a long time, proudly.
Yeah, not since 2005 is the last time I barfed.
But have you never barfed, like, just completely out of control, like, you throw up without any sort of warning?
No, ever. I've always had some kind of, this isn't good. Oh my gosh. And I always gag about 5 times before the real action happens.
Yeah.
So I always feel like I have some warning. I just feel like if you're a head of state and you're sitting at this table, at the very least you go this direction and get it on the Quaker Oats man or Barbara Bush. Sorry, I get her mixed up all the time. You do that.
Jesus Christ.
Or you lean
nobody's safe.
Or you lean back and go over here or something. You just don't go on the Japanese guy next to you. It just seems like ridiculous to me. It always did. Never understood that.
So the way that I understand that incident is, Bush was in the CIA, and he is aware of international, norms. So if he gets up and goes to the bathroom with all the press on him, that's already an international incident, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's something that shows disrespect. It shows all these other things that, like, he does not want to do. So he is trying to gut it out as much as he can. And unfortunately, that was not to be.
No. I always felt really bad for him. It just seemed like a really bummer thing to have happen anywhere. And there's video of that, man. You can see that.
Oh yeah. No. That's like a real thing. That's like and I forget when that happened. That was early. Because I think past then Gulf War happened. He became the most popular president of all time for that moment in history. And then he loses in his re-election campaign.
Yeah. Big T 2000 says, why would you feel bad for him? He's a war criminal. We're not talking about his son. Get your bushes straight.
Oh, I mean, that's
not the one with the guy that married what's her name from No Doubt. Anyway, well, this
Big T 2000 says he was kidding. By the way,
he was kidding.
We'll clarify.
Oh,
that.
it was a joke. Well, it was so obvious. All right, hey, that's awesome. What we've done here, we've debunked a conspiracy. I actually think you're right. I think we would know more about this. Plus, most conspiracies of this nature are usually horse crap anyway. In fact, I remember back in June, somebody was like, "Nobody's seen the president for 2 weeks. What could it mean?" Like, nothing. It means nothing. It means he's probably golfing, or you're not paying attention, or you're not looking enough, or whatever. But it is a little weird that from the hospital visit until now, no show at all. That's a little weird, right?
I mean, what I would be interested in is, now that the kind of truth can be told, what are the most serious medical ailments that have befallen presidents that just didn't raise to the level of us, being told?
Well,
because you gotta figure that there's like some for real, like big fevers and vomiting and dehydration and some just like a president has gotten as sick as the most sick either you or anyone you've have gotten.
Yeah.
That I'm almost positive.
Yeah, I'm sure of that too. I'm sure they're run down to hell and back. There's some of the, they always talk about how quickly they age in their first 4 years or whatever. And they get pictures of one to the other, and sure, you could say,
Obama, for example,
Obama looked real old by the end, but
no, it's like homeboy who drinks from the wrong cup in Last Crusade. It goes fast.
He's chosen poorly.
Yes.
But yeah, I think you're totally right about that, and that's the thing I think they hide pretty well. Because you don't, what do you have to do there? Well, he's just in bed, and we're not scheduling any appointments between now and 4 or whatever. But yeah, I think there's some of that stuff. But if it was something serious and he was in there for palpitations or I don't know, then you're probably right. We would have heard.
Because if it was a heart attack, that's something that I don't know if they could keep secret.
Right.
Somebody would say that.
Not right now. In this particular time and place and level of exposure and media frenzy and everything else, and legitimate, there are people like Maggie Haberman who have lines in there, she knows people, and I think they would say to her stuff. So it just doesn't feel like that. This isn't All the President's Men, where 2 guys at the Post have to figure shit out and that's all you got. It's everybody everywhere is poking their head in, and I'm sure you're right. We would have heard something somewhere. Well, all right.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
So we've learned that. We've learned that. We've learned about how to barf properly. Always barf on the Japanese guy to your right. What else? What else have we learned today? Oh, and we learned podcasting is a tricky business, and you should go with your heart, I guess.
Yes.
What else should we tell people about you right now? I know you got some cool stuff cooking that maybe even as early as next week we'll be able to talk about directly on the show and play here. But anything else happening?
Well, yeah. So next week on the 26th, just in time for your Thanksgiving travel, the first episode of Raise the Dead that Brian just said was very good before giving me some real minor criticism.
Very minor criticism.
To the biggest stage he has. That will be available on the Politics feed. So go ahead and subscribe to the Politics feed. And then hopefully, I was talking with Scott that, let me put it this way. I've worked really hard on Raise the Dead, and it has taken a lot of time, effort, research, production. I've grown as a podcaster, and I was thinking about okay, well, what does this mean? What do I want out of this? Big picture. And I very much believe that for a day, this could be the #1 podcast in the world.
Whoa.
Gotcha.
I do.
That's intense.
I know where this is going.
That's intense. That's really great.
All right.
Okay.
Now, Now, that is not necessarily to say that it's going to be the greatest podcast of all time, right? But the way that these podcasts tend to get there is because you already have gigantic properties and networks. You've got NPR, you've got Wondery, you've got The Ringer, right? You have all these, you have ESPN, all of these gigantic networks that put out, you know, they put the full court press to push the new product.
Yeah.
Here's what we have. Each other.
You're right.
And be it TMS, Frog Pants, DTNS, Night Attack, Diamond Club, what we have is a very dedicated group that we have all shared our resources and our talents over the years, but what we have not had is the ability to focus the big push on one short form thing. And so what I was talking to Scott about last night, and hopefully we'll be able to do across a lot of stuff, is to launch this the way that big networks do and have the trailer go out on the morning stream and some of the other big properties that I'm involved with, or anybody who would like to be totally honest with you, on the podcast. The channel is going to launch, or the feed is going to launch on December 5th. The first episode is going to go up in pre-release on the PX3 feed next week on the 26th. But the hope is that, you know, we can really make this something big, and then that can be the proof of concept for us to do it again with other big projects that we want to do, because I genuinely believe that we have something here that not even the big networks work at scale, and they have a very small percentage of people that they know will go and try something new from a familiar voice or a new voice. We have smaller numbers, but we have a much higher percentage, and so
engagement.
That's the idea.
Yeah,
the
if
idea
we can get people to subscribe to it specifically on launch day, kind of like the Diamond Club book, the Night Attack album, all that stuff.
Yeah,
like getting day one movement. It's a great idea.
So I will talk more about this next week, about the series, and hopefully I'll be able to let Brian know which episode 2 is. And, I will, and maybe even Scott will listen.
Yeah, I'm going to totally listen to this show. I absolutely am. You should see it. It's in my here. I'll read what it says. There it is, my inbox. It says snoozed 7 days ago. So I just need to get in there and quit snoozing it. You're my
Here's
morning
what
alarm.
You just need to do. I gave you an RSS feed.
Yeah.
Just take that RSS feed and put it in your podcatcher, and you'll just have the episodes right there where you already listen to podcasts.
It's that simple. Yep.
Just that simple.
You're right. Justin Robert Young, everybody. Justin R. Young on Twitter. Have a good one. We'll see you.
See you, Gerbs.
All right. Well, Brian.
Very good.
We've come again to the point of the show where I have to figure out why you're not in frame. There you are. Okay.
Get me in frame.
You're in frame now.
Frame me.
We got a tweet I have to read.
Okay. All right.
From a listener who says, this is from KK. And she says this. Did you know the morning show, Apple TV Plus's new show, says, did you know the morning show is called Morning Wars in Australia? Just some trivia for you. Good night, says KK.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
So why couldn't they do that here? Jerks.
Morning War.
Yeah. Then they don't
'Cause
share the...
everything in Australia is deadly.
Kind of, right? I mean, I don't understand why they had to do that. Maybe they have an actual show there called The Morning Show, and they cared to be kind to those people and not walk on their business. But no, not here. Went ahead
in Australia, Fury Road is called Mad Max Poison Death.
Oh, yeah. Here's the other thing I know about this. If the show itself isn't altering itself, so on the show they call it The Morning Show.
Sure.
Right? But the title of it is Morning War.
It's just Morning Wars. So it's just basically, they who knows why, unless there's actual dialogue saying, well, we really gotta make sure that we have that meeting before we record the Morning Wars. Like have it overdubbed.
Like, congratulations, Bill Winterstrom. You have won. It's like that. Yeah.
Pee-wee Herman, you've got a call at the front desk.
Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman.
Paging Mr. Herman.
You guys should hear Dunaway do that. It's very good.
Oh, he nails it. That's his best.
I might actually have that. Should I see if I have that? Why not? Let's see. Hold on.
Okay.
Herman.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got. Oh yeah, here we go. This is Brian Dunaway, I think, or maybe this is the movie.
Mr. Herman, you have a telephone call at the front desk.
It was
the only way you can tell that that's not Dunaway is because you hear the music in the background. That's the only way you can determine.
I agree. I need to get him to do it again so I can have it on record. All right. That's going to do it for today's show, everybody. Thanks for being here, as always. If you're wondering how we stay afloat, it's because of your support, and only that, really. Just get over there and help us, please. TMS on Patreon is where you got to go. Patreon.com/TMS. That's patreon.com/TMS. It's linked on the website as well at frogpants.com/TMS. So don't worry if you get lost. It's all there for you. Send us your emails. Send us your phone calls. Send us your whatevers. We'd love to read them, hear them, talk about them, whatever.
Maybe not your whatevers.
Maybe not your whatevers. Yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe keep your whatevers to yourself.
Keep them to yourself. Frogpants.com/TMS. Brian's going to play a song now so we can go. What do you got?
That's right, Bambalam. Kevin Chu, a.k.a. Icor, wrote in and said, hey, Spambalam, no date for this, so play whenever you have a free spot. I have one today, although I should have played a cover for Gidget's birthday, but she went to sleep, so she doesn't get to pick one.
Yep.
I discovered this cover of Ram Jam's Black Betty by Spiderbait and thought it was pretty cool. It's a mix of hillbilly and metal rock, and with all this talk of Popeye's chicken sandwiches, let us not forget the best chicken sandwich that was both tender, crisp, and included bacon, cheddar, and of course ranch. What was that called again?
That was, boy, look how you gave me time. All right, here it is.
The tender crisp bacon cheddar ranch.
That's the one.
Excellent. Low show is a portmanteau, yo. Signed, Kevin, a.k.a. Icor, who's in the chat room. Hi, Icor.
All right.
This is Black Betty, originally done by Ram Jam. Boy, so many. It's actually like it's got its roots in like traditional recordings as well. Ram Jam wasn't really the first one to record it, but they had a humongous hit with it. This is the Spiderbait version. It comes from their album Tonight, All Right. 2004. Leadbelly, I think, was actually the first one that I've got written down here as the first performer of Black Betty. Anyway, here they are, Spiderbait doing Black Betty.
Here it is. We'll see you guys tomorrow. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Frog Pants Network. Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Great.
Oh, great. Great.
Oh, sure. You show up for the end of the show?
Is this the cat?